sufficiently magically terrifying that doesn't know how to absorb it for me to throw it at. It'll probably explode, but it'll be a great time.
That's just what that thing's going to do. Is it's going to explode.
I just had a thought, and I have no idea if this would actually work. Considering that she's a chaos goddess, it probably wouldn't work. Could we use it against the White Lady?
No, the druids know how to use the crystal. The White Lady would effortlessly.
Chaos with chaos. Is it multiplicative or subtractive?
Does it cancel each other out?
It's multiplicative.
Multiplicative.
Yeah, it's
Or is it
multiplicative
exponential?
if you don't take into negative positive relations into account.
Yeah, we only deal with positives in this environment.
That's not the campaign that we're here for.
Nope.
No. What we are here for is the I.P.I. Myk'Isle.
Well, to hear startle Isaline for a third time this campaign.
Last time you put out the fires, you found shelter, aka the rabbit just pulled out the tarpus, ex nihilo.
Yeah, I was gonna say the rabbit just called the TARDIS back without the physician.
The physician has to deal with the bad weather instead, I presume.
In my head, I just have an image of the physician, like they've landed somewhere, and the physician's not in the box at all. He's off doing whatever he does, and he comes back to where he knew he parked. He knew he parked the TARDIS there. I parked it right here. Where did it go?
But the concept of him just like resting in the tarpus and then it leaving him behind is also really funny.
Yes.
Especially if it was raining.
You checked up on Torah, who said we may have to get the new embassy involved, or embassies involved. But to do that, you need to see if the Prime Minister was on board with that.
Yes. To the Prime Minister's house.
Marcia here promptly hijacked her thought elevator.
And floated.
For relaxation purposes.
And the Prime Minister basically said, I don't care. It's way too early in the morning for me to make this kind of judgment call. You guys do it since you're more awake.
Famous last words.
Thank you for nothing, you useless reptile.
Oh no, you're going to the useless reptiles.
No, but it is kind of what happened here.
But yeah, no.
It's not how I truly feel, but it is kind of what happened here.
You also had.
Isaline has realized that she should have had comprehend languages on hand because there's members of the band here that she's like, they're speaking the Parkwood language again, and I can't figure it out.
Well, you don't have to worry.
Of course,
about
they wasted a self-plot on that because, here cares about his customers. You got to understand what they're saying.
Well,
and eavesdrop. Also important for gathering information.
You won't have to worry about that for too long because this week, as you're having your conversation with the Prime Minister, I really should have watched the last minutes of that.
Didn't we go to the front door of the Dragon Embassy place last session?
No, you're still you are still conversing with the Prime Minister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're still talking to the Prime Minister.
Yeah, that much
I think what you remember is the fact that Arthur was telling us that the tiefling that we saw outside of the Tarpus was one of the squires of the Dragon Orders.
I thought I remembered some grandiose building. No. But maybe I just was beginning to imagine said grandiose building before it had been
I think that's probably what you were
introduced to us.
Yeah, because dragons are vain and they're going to have a magnificent mansion. Though not as magnificent as the one you're in.
I don't know why. Because I was
talking about happened after we ended the session.
Yeah, it was something at the very end because I was talking about how Tong's Magnificent Mansion was probably one of the nicest places in town, but that because you had talked about the embassies and things like that. That's probably what you were thinking
I'm
of.
imagining a lobby over 100 feet tall with statues of dragons on either side and a super awesome insignia on the floor in the middle.
The fountain.
Ooh, I like that. Let's add a fountain.
You always like.
There wasn't a fountain before, but let's add one.
I found fountains.
Well, this week, as you're having your conversation with the Prime Minister, those of you with the highest passive perceptions will notice.
Me.
Actually, yeah, Dominic, you might like this.
I'm at 15 for passive.
16.
I'm at a 16.
Yeah.
Alright, so you all notice another person enter the room from the floor above, following one of the fox servants. And when
Do they look to be in a particular hurry?
no, they seem rather relaxed.
Oh, good.
But you can immediately tell this person is quite tall. Skin with skin tone with the likeness of ceramics, and long white hair.
I know exactly who that is. And she wants to make you a sword.
Tong, she notices. One moment, and we'll go over, and we'll say something to the person who will begin speaking. You will hear that she's speaking whatever language you consider most fluent. Basically, like saying hello before like Tong like grabs her and says like, nope, stop. Okay,
They are Greek.
Take off whatever is causing that effect, and I'll make this easier. The person will take off a gold and ruby necklace and put it into her bag. Person looks to be in their early 20s. Tong like waves her hand in the air and says, "All right, now you can speak freely without annoying me. At least everyone in the room can now understand what is being said."
They have gotten older.
Atheline's gonna look up and just, but you also see like her shoulders sag. He's like, oh, thank goodness. She's also like berating herself for not having that spell prepared where she could just cast it on herself to understand.
Sahir actually would have understood every word that was said. He had comprehend language.
Yeah, so basically Tong greeted them, but stop them, and force her to take off the necklace that was enchanted with tongues, and put it away, and then did something to where, at least according to her own words, everyone in the room can now understand. Perhaps I should make a correction. As long as you speak Fey, everyone will be able to understand. She'll look at you, you guys, as long as you speak Common. It'll be the same way. I mean, that's if you get there.
Everyone speaks Common.
I was gonna say, hey. Is that the sparkly sounding one, Prime Minister?
It is.
Okay. A little bit more complex than Sylvan. Still can't get a hang of it. But thank you. I greatly appreciate being able to understand what everybody's saying.
Oh, that was Sylvan. Oh. I have no idea what it sounded like until now.
Well, it's not exactly Sylvan, but it's close enough. I
But
mean,
if you wanted to hear Sylvan, you could have just asked.
It wasn't exactly important until now, was it?
Probably not.
everyone, this is Idea. She comes from the same plane of existence that I do, and well, Idea, I have a little project that you might be very interested in working on.
Oh dear.
Adea's eyes open wide and and she is listening intently.
Well, uh, lately we've been gathering all the most experienced wizards, artificers, and the like to figure out how to make artifacts. Well, items of the equivalent strength and not necessarily rarity, but same enchanting process as artifacts.
Can I get to do it?
You get to be part of the team that's looking how to do it.
The smile she watches the obvious joy on the other woman's face is like, okay, so she makes stuff.
We're gonna make magic items.
Minister Tom, might I ask why we're making artifacts?
Because it's fun, of course. And they're also really useful, but I can't forget about the fun factor.
For her, it's the fun factor. Well, at least the reason why I invited her was the fun factor that I thought she would enjoy. I thought a couple of years away from each other would change things, but evidently not.
She's probably fully multi-classed into Artificer at this point.
But I suppose you are working within our realms of governance. You are now privy to you're privy to some information. Um, the founders of this island, their I suppose main adversary, something called the Hungering One or something like that, has a cabal of other has a cabal of failed previous incarnations of the founders. And we are trying to recreate their equipment, of which includes a variety of damage resistances and immunities. Not to mention looking fashionable if you like looking like if you like looking like a corvid, a crow, raven, or magpie.
Do you have the artifacts? Or do they need to be taken from the failed copies of this enemy?
We have at least one full set.
I see.
And right now, our lead enchanters are currently taking a look at it, see how, if at all, we can recreate these. So,
recreating their items sounds well and good. I admit I don't quite see the point. But maybe that's something that I'm not privy to know. But I mean, obviously it's important, but I don't quite understand why. Would it help get rid of their enemy?
Uh, let's just say that uh, Daehun, I think he was the security advisor. He's a conquest paladin, and he wants the whatever can help him in that goal. Also, if you ever happen to meet him, don't bring up the stars or the moons, because he's a follower of a god that is actively against them.
Against the stars and the moon.
Yeah, it's a deity from our world.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah,
Good to know. I won't let you worry out.
Yeah, Huitzilopochtli if you care to look it up. And it is not spelled like it sounds. It is a rather convoluted spelling.
So don't bring up the lights that dance across my homeland sky at night.
No, well, don't bring up anything that is like gives them praise. If you talk about them in a disparaging way, I'm sure he'll approve.
Italy just grimaces. It's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm.
You can hear the guy that's been playing with
The kid.
the kid is like, "This guy's your security advisor?" Unfortunately, so, Odin.
But the stars and moon are so pretty.
I agree with you, Joan, but I will try my best not to upset the security advisor. But at the moment, I'm not sure what he's doing since we seem to be the security anymore.
You are temporary security in his absence. At least up until Joy can get the police in running order.
I thought that was Torah. And, other entities within the government that may or may not exist that I shouldn't know about, probably.
Yeah, you hear Avery is voiced by. Well, I wasn't necessarily along the same lines, but yeah, I thought she was. I mean, considering that we were supposed to be reporting to her, that we were. She was some sort of guard detail, but hey, nice to know that we won't be getting arrested anytime soon.
Is Avery visible right now? Like, I don't remember him coming with us. So is he visible, or do we just randomly hear his voice?
You hear his voice? Go ahead, roll perception check. See if you can find him.
I'm doing that too. Jeez.
He's been hiding in the shadows this whole time.
What is my modifier? Because my dice left.
13.
14.
Perception?
Yes.
22.
Wait, 22?
Yes.
Okay.
My dice love me today.
Okay, that is Avery.
Or at least right now.
Even with a plus 11 modifier, Isley is the only one that manages to find him immediately. Yeah,
Where is he?
Oh, he's behind your group.
You immediately turn around and it's like, nice of you to join us. What are you doing here?
Well, considering that the dragon got away last night, I figured my cover is good and blown. So,
Makes sense.
I mean, he's been plenty helpful. I don't see why he's not welcome.
yeah, how'd you get into my house?
I mean, I was just more. I don't like being snuck up on. She's gonna glare a little bit at Sahir. It's like, as you well know.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, how'd you get into my house, and more, how'd you know how to get down here?
yeah, I was, and I'm gonna gesture to the Prime Minister. It's like, that was more of where my thought lines was going.
He probably came in exactly as we did and just stayed silent the whole time.
I was gonna say, if it were me, I would have just followed us in here.
Oh no, I just followed
Okay.
this lady in. I mean, like,
Close enough.
he points.
Did I roll perception to see if Ade had noticed him and just decided not to care?
Yeah, go ahead, but make it as if she were a level 18 cleric. So that would be a plus
Holy.
16. Well, maybe not level 18 cleric, but a level 18 character, so plus 6 modifier proficiency. If she's proficient in perception.
She's not proficient in perception, but it is an 18.
That would have just barely not been high enough. Dude has a plus 11
They
modifier
just look
stealth.
around.
What was that?
Avery has a plus 11 to stealth.
Makes sense. I agree. Your cover is likely blown. How did we lose the dragon, by the way?
I don't know. Went down behind the houses, went off in the direction, found where it crashed. Wasn't there.
Is anything there?
Did you actually land where its body was to check for invisibility?
Yes, I checked. Yeah, made sure nothing was physically there. I mean, I did find chunks of flesh and bone, and a snifty little scale too. But no, with the kind of damage that was laid in on that thing, a fall like that would definitely have, well, I mean, the energy blast from the rabbit alone would have been enough to bring it down, I think. At least on top of the damage they had already sustained. That means
You found flesh and bones there.
flesh and scales.
So either the dragon disintegrated on impact, or lost a good chunk of himself as he got up and walked away, or crawled away.
One does not simply walk away from that particular event, even a dragon.
No,
That's what I was
I would
thinking.
have to.
So
I would have to concur with a fine lady here. That would not be something that any person could walk away from.
so we didn't lose the dragon, as in you just didn't find the body.
I have a sneaking suspicion that there was another person there that night.
No. Really?
I mean, the only other thing I could guess would be that did one of those things that when knocked out adventurers do on a 5% chance that they wake up suddenly and stumble off. But I think I would have noticed something like that. But where are we going next?
Unfortunately, unless someone in this room happens to have locate creature, specifically this group, because they specifically met the dragon, it's not like we have any more leads that since you're no longer part of their group.
I mean, I know where their warehouse has been up till last night. I imagine that if the dragon has regained consciousness, they're probably going to be clearing out of there pretty quickly.
Would the dragon have, with the beam from the bunny, sorry, my lady Tarkus, and with the crash into the ground, is it feasible for us to even assume that the dragon survived?
Tong will speak up. There is a possibility that it survived. I would have. When something gets knocked out, if they are of our persuasion, then usually it's between 18 to 36 seconds to either survive or die. There's a chance that you could die earlier than that, but, or regain consciousness before that, but an unattended body would have, at worst, 12 seconds. And, at best, 6 seconds before they get up.
That's specific.
Yeah, almost like this world runs on some game to find rules.
Hmm.
Thank you for breaking the fourth wall. Tom just like stares straight into this magical camera that is magically following us that we have not noticed at all as she breaks the fourth wall because it's Tom.
I mean, she can get away with it. She's a trickster.
I don't know. I still love the image of imagining her looking at a camera. Though it'd also be kind of funny having the rest of us kind of like look at her. It's like, what are you doing? But
really, it sounds like you have two choices. Check out this warehouse, or go to the dragon embassies.
Probably the warehouse first. The faster we get there, either the faster we find them, or the faster we make them run, which means the more likely they are to leave something more obvious behind. The embassy isn't necessarily going anywhere.
I'm sorry. Dragon embassy. Did I hear that correctly?
yes,
Yes.
What in the nine hells is this island?
You've been really distracted this week, haven't you?
he has been undercover in a way that
Hmm.
actually just makes sense.
Okay, yeah, I'll allow that. Yes, this island is incredibly weird.
Alright, I.P.I. Sit close. Don't lose me. And Avery will head out.
And there he goes.
You just assume he's the leader?
Well, you need to. You don't know where the warehouse is. I do.
I'm following.
He doesn't know where it is.
Yeah.
True.
I'm not just. I'm not taking leadership. I'm just taking the initiative and leading you there.
I feel like this is like he runs off, Sahir goes right after him, and like he and his lean are just still on the couch looking at each other like, oh, great.
Honestly, yeah, because I'm also like looking at Kong and Idea and Erden and the kit. That's what I'm going to call the fox child until I know its name is the kit, because fox babies are kits, and that's exactly what I want to call it. So I'm just like, okay, well, warehouse makes sense. Is there anything else we can do to help Prime Minister that you haven't already told? I mean, are we supposed to help with the artifacts or anything like that? Or is your team handling it?
Unless you know anything about artifacts, not really.
Do I know anything about artifacts?
But we already made a roll for this.
What role would that be? Because I don't
That would
quite
be
know
Arcana.
if I know. Arcana? Oh, goody. 26? I'm using up all my good rolls. Thank you, dice. You guys are awesome.
At your stage of adventuring, there's not really anything you can do to contribute because artifacts are like only the highest level adventurers really get them because they are exceedingly rare.
Mhm.
So exceedingly rare that they often artifacts are named. But they are, and also they're very powerful.
Meanwhile, Adea over here is making a name for herself like Masamune.
Yes. Idea is the best.
And Erden is like half listening to the conversation in the back, just thinking, wait a minute. Idea is here.
Oh no.
I will say for Erden and Brina's benefit that Idea did come with more of those tongue cinchad necklaces.
It might be duplicatable considering she's 10 levels into Artificer at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But I also, like, even though they're duplicatable, I believe Idea would customize them to fit the person that they're for. Like my tongue, Brina's tongues necklace wouldn't necessarily look like yours. You probably just used the ruby and gold necklace that you had at the wedding because it's a really nice piece of jewelry and like it. And you're like, hey, I can get to wear this again because it's now enchanted.
And I don't have to wear a dress this time.
You don't have to wear. Yeah, correct. You don't have to wear a dress.
It may not even be the same necklace. Could be just something that she made on the side.
True. Most stuff she makes though, she gives away. Or, I mean, like she wants to give to other people. From what I've seen, I could be wrong.
Mario, you were about to say something?
There's
I'll
eventually
just look
going to
over at
be
Isley and just like, shall we go then?
Yeah, off we go, I guess.
Diplomats first.
Diplomats first. Does that mean that the rogues are now in charge of diplomacy?
I don't know if I want to scream or just cry out heavens to Betsy. No. Or both.
How presumptuous of you.
They're the rogue bros. So you're also just seeing Isley just kind of What was that?
Sometimes you just have to let them take the lead and get it out of their system. They want to feel wanted.
On hearing Joan's comment about diplomats first, Islene's just like kind of deflate a little bit more. So like, I'm trying, and I'm failing so much.
And I know Sahir is going to be following Avery pretty damn closely. How
That's right. Winston did not prepare me for all of this.
how far behind are the two of you going to be?
Probably maybe about 5-10 minutes, only because of asking that extra question of Tom.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably
does that
5 minutes behind, but trying to
like
keep
that?
pace if that's not an initial. Yeah.
All right. So Avery leads you off in the direction of the main town. Pretty deep into the heart of the town. Not anywhere close to where you've been, but is close by to the river. When you get a few blocks away, Avery will slow down and will say, probably just to hear since the other two are a minute or two behind. At this point, we may want to sneak. Or at least be casual up until we get to the door.
Sahir will duly begin looking for ways to blend in with the crowd.
Before you roll, you're a pretty good fella, and you'll get bardic inspiration.
Oh, jeez. Is that plus a D4?
For Avery, it is a D6.
Well, I maxed out my bardic inspiration roll. It's 3 times higher than my D20 roll.
Rolled a 2.
I did roll it too.
Yeah.
And with my new stealth expertise, my entire roll is equal to my proficiency bonus in stealth, for a total of 16.
16. Sorry, that was a 2 plus 6, so that's 8.
Plus another 8 for stealth bonus.
Plus 4 at level 7?
I'm only level 6.
Yeah. So that should be a plus 8 plus 6, so that should be 14.
Plus 2.
Plus 2 because he rolled a 2.
Rolled a 2 plus the 6 for the inspiration plus an 8 for my.
Oh. Right. Yeah, 8, 16. Yep.
Yep.
So,
Math.
Avery did slightly better.
The police that we have learned. And he's like, with us kind of being the police force, does that make us above the law?
Well, from my understanding, the police aren't. They're not exactly. They're not exactly above the law. They more enforce the law. So.
We're less likely to get in trouble, yeah?
As long as we don't tell on ourselves.
Good policy.
We're so lucky. I don't know.
And the
Alright.
two lawful people are far behind to not hear this.
Uh, I will say, I don't remember how this came up in my thoughts, but somehow Avery would have mentioned it, like, um, uh, uh, his carnival actually doing, like, how their business is not necessarily legal, and talking just being like, thank you for admitting that in front of the Prime Minister, a paladin, and a child who needs an example set for them.
So since Joan and I are following behind them, once they go all sneaky, sneaky, do we lose them in the crowd?
Well, I may have not beat my own passive perception, but I think I beat the rest of the party's passive perception.
Well, from what I heard, Iseline, your new passive is 16, correct?
No, my passive is 15.
So here's a 16.
Alright, so yeah, you do lose them.
Great.
A couple blocks out, we watch Avery go down into amongst the warehouse. Like, all right, he's roughly in that direction. Get there. Yeah, where is he again?
Joan and I are like standing hands on our hips. It's like, huh?
Alright,
Okay, then.
you may now make perception checks.
Yeah, it's like, well, let's try and see where they went.
What is with my dice today?
Are they behaving badly?
Yeah,
Do they need dice, Joe?
they're all just rolling low at the moment. Not worthy of dice jail yet.
Yeah,
21.
So,
My dice loved me today.
I rolled
don't
two
know
different
why,
sets
but
of dice.
yeah, it's a
My
7.
D20 and my D6 don't match.
Did you put the wrong ones in the wrong place?
No, I just pulled out the D20, and when he said pull out a 6, I reached and didn't grab the same dice set.
I suppose I should mark off that spell slot. Joan, you're like looking through the crowds. You're looking for the golden brown feathers of Avery because that would be the easiest thing to spot out of this crowd. I don't think Sahir's wearing his turban. But even then, there are a handful of people from that same area here, so he's not immediately sticking out.
But they probably wouldn't take it off unless he had a really darn good reason to.
Well, you don't see them. Iseline, you spot a person using disguise self over at a warehouse, probably another block further. And right next to that person is an Arab-looking half-elf with Sahira's turban.
Got him over that way.
Oh, all right. You lead.
Okay.
Slightly overweight Arabian half-elf.
I start weaving my way through, trying to be just calm, but also not lose the two rogues. Not wanting to lose the rogue bros again.
We solemnly swear that we are
Up to no good. Yeah,
Now,
I find you. Makes you loop it.
while those other two are still behind it, there were quite a few interesting things that I discovered about all of y'all.
Jess?
Well, uh, the other two, they're not really that interesting unless you want to count one being a mage slayer or training to be a mage slayer. But no, you come here because you're trying to because you're wanted for stealing oh, no, truffles? Were you stealing truffles? What was that?
Birds.
I'm laughing because that fits my husband so perfectly.
Well, some very nice peppers from an Elvis garden made him really angry.
To supply your restaurant, I presume?
Birds. Only the best of food for all my customers.
Might have to try your
What?
might have to try your restaurant. Yeah, perhaps if we do end up going to the Dragon Ambassadors, perhaps we don't want to steal anything from them. Gold or spices.
Good idea. Highly valuable spices will be awfully tempting, but I will try to stay my hand.
I mean, hey, if they're still cleaning out this place, there is bound to be some contraband that you can use.
Have we gotten close enough to overhear any of this conversation?
Now you have. But they are speaking in thieves' cant.
Yeah.
Oh, there you two are. Speaking logistics?
Yes.
I'm just gonna Isling's gonna stand there and try and look intimidating with her arms crossed and like one eyebrow raised, like I'm afraid to ask.
I solemnly swear I didn't do anything wrong, Mother. You're giving me that look.
You may roll a insight check.
Insight?
Yeah.
Me?
15.
That is not high enough because Avery is silver-tongued. And he has a plus 12 to... I am not saying either... Well, actually, no. He has a plus 12 to persuasion and deception.
14 wouldn't probably work then either.
Not unless you can get a 22 or higher.
No, I got a 14.
Yeah.
I got a +5 to deception.
Yeah.
Does it work on what Sahir told me then?
I was going under the assumption that Sahir was assisting Avery in his whatever attempt.
Excellent.
Yeah. Assist the bard. Very good at talking.
Paying him back for giving him bardic inspiration.
The DM's working together.
Having too much fun playing this rogue. Despite the fact that he's not very good at being a rogue, which only adds to the charm.
John just kind of looks back and forth between the two cretins and just like, all right, where's the warehouse?
And I'm just gonna continue looking at Sahir. It's like I'm trying to fathom like in what universe would I be your mother?
I'm not saying that you are, but you're giving me that look. Like I did something wrong and you suspect me of it.
It's this building here.
I hear Isling mutters like, Papa never taught me anything about what a mother's look looks like.
Alright, Net. I lead you up to a side door, and we'll hold up a single talon as he puts what you presume to be his ear up to the window, or not up to the door frame. Well, that's still pretty good. And if you want to see if you can hear anything, roll perception checks.
I was gonna say, can I assist? Is there a way I can do that?
Do you want to give him the help action, or do you want to roll your own?
I'll give him the help action.
7. I don't hear nothing.
11.
We don't need too many people listening to the door.
Alright, so 11, correct?
Yep.
And what was Isaline?
7.
7?
I'm apparently still about the whole mother comment and trying to figure out how my face apparently looks like a mother.
Joan, you can hear some shuffling coming from inside.
Mhm.
Avery will be like, there are 3 people inside. No one right against the door.
How far away?
Closest one, 20 feet.
Do we break in guns blazing, or do we pretend that we belong there? Oh, guns blazing probably isn't a thing. Hands blazing. Literal.
Well, look,
Isley looks at her hands and is like, I don't have burning.
Well, look, the 2 of us are pretty sneaky. We can probably, sneak in, do some sneaky stabs.
Very tempting.
The other 2, I have no idea.
I have no idea how to be sneaky. How about you, Isleen?
Not my best skill. Can try. I'm used to being ignored, but that's more because of just he needs assistance to the court wizard. But they pay attention to the court wizard, not the assistant.
Well, thoughts from the crowd about how to approach this?
Unless
What
you got
happens
something
to them
loud and
Athena?
distracting, I guess I'm waiting out here.
Loud and distract. Oh, I forgot that there was a thing with you all. A cohort who speaks for the first time since probably from the Tarpus. So I can enchant an object to produce sound.
Are we wanting to have an object produce sound, or are we trying to be quiet? I thought we were trying to be quiet.
My programming also allows infiltration.
Unless there was a diversion, because that can help with stuff. We don't want a bad diversion.
Are we trying to apprehend the people on the other side of the store without injury?
I forget what we were trying to do to the people on the other side of the store, actually.
I don't think we ever had an idea of what we would do.
I was assuming question them.
That would be helpful.
Okay, out of character, Marco, you look like Joan is just like so bedraggled from last night and just continually with her her thermos of coffee, like every 5 minutes is like, I am not awake enough for any of this crap. Come on, let's just get things done. But
Yeah,
I love you're doing such a great job of it. It makes me laugh so much.
And Jonah's definitely in that. Can we do something? There's 3 sneaky people here. Let's get them in. Let's make it easy for them, which means I can find the big door that has to deal with a lot of big stuff that I can just do stuff at. I don't know, the diplomat can do a surprise inspection, something, please. Thank you. Joe didn't even try hard at making coffee today. It was just like it was like the fantasy equivalent of instant coffee.
When she's sitting there going, maybe I should have asked here for his coffee.
Is she that desperate for good coffee that she would have asked Sahir for coffee? She didn't like his coffee.
But would it have been better than the instant coffee? The fine Arabian coffee, even if it wasn't to her taste.
If we want to do a surprise inspection, then I can do that as well.
Is she supposed to be busy being sneaky or something? Also,
I can do either.
you can both pull off a surprise inspection as well as get us all the information and likely objects required to succeed at this investigation.
What if we had a surprise inspection, and while the non-sneaky members of the party were doing the surprise inspection, the sneaky members of the party were doing the actual inspecting inside the building?
I mean, I'm technically supposed to be following your lead, so you tell me what to do.
Why do we care about the people inside the warehouse again?
Because they might have
people are able to
information,
tell
or they might
things
want to
if
be
you're
killing them.
alive.
I got all caught up in the whole sneaking thing, and I totally forgot what they had that we wanted.
Hey, your mind's too focused on the peppers.
That's right.
Peppers?
Story for another time, maybe. Also, I got some great roasting peppers the other day. That was this morning.
I was about to ask.
Send in the sneaky members. Let's not try and do a surprise inspection because I don't know if there's any precedent for that on this strange little island. And
Good point. We know who the prime minister is.
Door to this building?
What was that?
Is there another door to this building, Avery?
Well, there are the big doors over there. There's this door here, and there's one on the other side of the building.
Okay. Since you guys are going to be coming through this door, in a way you'll have it blocked. If we have Joan take the large doors and me take the other door, we can cover the other exits. I just think most of my stuff that I have ready to go right now would probably be more defense oriented instead of trying to inspect anything. So
I could come up with some official looking documents to sell the story if you need me to.
I have a feeling that the people on the other side of this door just like all decided to like clamor around the other side of this door. Like, what are these people doing?
I imagine we've been whispering this whole time.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure we're all whispering, but still, a group of 5 whispering
In front of the door.
in front of the door.
Okay, tell you what. Two of you go do what you're gonna do. You send this thing into whatever door is not being covered. The 2 of us will go and sneak around. You know, as it sounds like you want us to do, and look for stuff.
Yes.
That works.
All right.
And they want the people alive. I got that much.
Yes, because of information.
We want information, preferably if it's written down. and anything incredibly valuable is nailed to the floor.
All right. I mean, so here, honestly, getting kind of bored with this conversation. Want some action?
And that's what
Just
light
me.
leads.
Right.
Go to the other door, on the other side of the building that Avery talked about. Joan, would you go to the larger doors since you probably can handle them better than I could?
Certainly.
All right. First
I will
off,
stay here.
all right. So first off, who's going to be talking to the people?
What?
I assume you're going to be causing a distraction. So who's going to be doing that?
For fake inspection.
I thought we were just sending the sneaky people in.
It's easier to sneak if there's a big distraction elsewhere.
I wasn't sure if they were distracting or if they were just going to guard the doors.
We're just
Also, so that I can give you some bardic inspiration.
That's always useful.
I feel up to doing any. I don't want to do an inspection.
I'm just
Somebody
supposed
else
to be
can
good at
do
talking to
stuff.
people.
Avery will put his talon on Joan's shoulder. You got this. I believe in you. You'll have bardic inspiration.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna need 5 minutes to make the documents even remotely believable. On hopefully like a crate nearby the door, Joan actually pulls out a forgery kit.
She could be one of us.
And starts and has probably had just a glance at the prime minister's like handwriting. You're like, okay, I can reasonably make this as awful as possible, and it'll look great.
Well, especially since Tong's handwriting, as of yet, has yet to improve.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Like,
still.
it's terrible. It's unreadable in both instances, both language and handwriting. So
She has no regard for doing actual like codes and whatnot. So
I mean, hey, if she hates a thing, she can make it say anything she damn well pleases.
actually, Joan, just for a little bit of added realism, actually sets the thermos down onto the paper to get a coffee ring line. Coffee ring line out too. Like, this has already been sitting in a place somewhere.
All right, go ahead and roll.
Worked out.
Yeah, your choice between dexterity, intelligence, or wisdom, and adding proficiency with your forgery kit.
Please roll higher than a 10. Please. Just
Please.
once today.
you've got bardic inspiration too.
Yeah, that's a D6, right?
Yes.
Well, I should probably save that for when I have to do a persuasion check when I'm actually talking to these people, right?
Your choice.
Yeah, your choice.
Yeah, I'll save it for then because I don't have anything for charisma at all. Okay, proficiency bonus, that's a +3, so...
Yes.
Isley is just horrified as she's watching Joan forge documents. I'm like, what? What am I doing here?
Total of 17.
All right, you're.
Everything people sacred is being violated in this mission.
All right, you've seen enough of the Prime Minister's sterile hiring that you are able to mimic how terrible it is.
I went with wisdom that time.
Yeah, and you're pretty sure that, like, even you're looking at it like, I have no idea what this says.
It's logistics paperwork. I don't know what this means.
Ad lorem ipsum. Or whatever the filler text is for documents.
Mm-hmm. I'm just now imagining, like, if this was an item in a game, like, forged documents. Nobody knows what this means, but it's very official looking.
Well, let's see what happens to this if you get to keep it or not.
Trying to, like, quickly, like, rush that all out. Just like, all right, done. I'll go over this way in case anyone wants to follow.
All right. So here, stealth. I suppose I should technically roll for cohort as well.
Got the same total as I did with the Bardic Inspiration.
Again.
I rolled an 8.
Oh.
Plus 8 for 16.
Yikes.
That's good enough. Isleen, are you sneaking at all?
I'm going inside. I'm outside.
All right.
She's an innocent bystander.
All right. So you're covering the door, just making sure no one goes out that way.
Yeah, because
All right.
Diplomat doesn't want a diplomat.
All right. So were you leaving cohorts to cover the last door?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Because in my head, like, Joan was taking the large doors, cohort was taking the far door, and I was taking the door that we were standing in front of already.
All right.
Oh, I could be like the official guard outside the door.
Okay.
I'm grasping at freaking straws here, people. Why is it so hard?
Okay, I will ask you this. Are you going to try hard enough that you will require a deception check or performance?
Deception check or what?
Performance.
Probably.
Then roll your choice of either of those.
Is this character like Amror for you? It's like a character that has a bunch of ideals that you admire but are actually really hard to live up to in acting.
Yes. Sorry, okay, that was what? Performance or
Deception.
deception? Well, it's the same whether I roll one or the other. I'll go with performance of an 11.
All right.
Because I'm basically trying to be what I just act kind of like myself in a court. Not just judicial court, but just like the court of the duchy.
All right.
And there look like I'm supposed to be there, basically.
All right. So you're standing outside the door and you're kind of doing that like thing like at least when like a camera light shifts to a person that's like doing something like sneaky or pretending to be something they aren't, where they're kind of like a nervous shake, but when you pull away, they seem like absolutely calm. Yeah, no one seems to be noticing. At least the few people that come this way. Joan. You're able to get to the doors. It doesn't appear that they are locked, or at least they're not locked on the outside.
Alright, and they're closed?
Yes.
Alright, they're like these reasonably big ones where it would take like a whole cart to get through and everything?
Yep.
Alright, then there's no like side door to it as well, or it's just these big ones?
There's like one side door, but it leads into the same exact area.
Okay.
It's just it seems like it's one of those doors where it opens so that you don't have to like
Get the big door.
yeah, every time.
Yeah. So,
Sorry, I just have an image in my head of like Aragon shoving the doors open. That's what my brain is doing in my head of imagining Joan doing this. Sorry.
Yeah, I was
should
kind
let
of
you hear
picturing the same thing too.
yeah, and I was actually, if Arthur didn't mention the side door, I would have absolutely done that. I don't know. Joan tries to like bring their like posture down just a little bit, try and shake off like the forced standing tall and everything. Instead, probably very easily because of time wise yesterday of just I am exhausted. Like I have not had a me day in too long. So holding holding the thermos kind of just bangs on the doors
All right.
like a couple times.
All right. So here you and Avery like sneak in. The guys they seem like they're putting things into boxes, getting ready to move them, and then you will hear the three guys. They go still. And he's like, Johnny, get the door. Why have to? Why does it have to be me every time? Because the newest one always does it.
Thump thump.
Jones is like, I'm waiting.
Alright, fine. Alright, Joan, door opens and there's a pretty scruffy looking human man. Like, unkept hair. Yes, what do you need?
Hi, this is the Myk'Isle inspection office. We're currently looking to requisition your warehouse here, so I'm gonna have to, look it over and do everything. Is your foreman in?
Well, wait. Inspection? We heard nothing about an inspection.
Oh, I'm sorry. Have you not noticed the fires throughout the city? Apparently, there was some large black thing that crashed down in Midtown yesterday. Yesterday, there was almost a fire in actually a residential zone. Do you realize how much destruction has happened in the city recently? We need to import a lot of stuff, and apparently, you guys aren't using your warehouse at all. So, unless you have a really good reason to keep up our to keep this place occupied, we are going to be taking it over. Did you not get the notice?
Roll intimidation.
Please, guys, roll high. Yeah, please make it work.
Okay. And Bardic. Oh, that's actually pretty. Oh, that's total. Okay. Is that a I almost pulled a security. It's a total of 18 for intimidation.
Yeah, you can get that. We're just when we were told that we had some things to move, so we were just packing up right now. Please come in.
Thank you. And actually, like somehow pushes the door further and like to buffet him a little, and like does like that serious like looking around, like how full is this place?
It's well, you got kind of a wall of crates on one side, like kind of like down the center of the building.
Mm-hmm.
But on your side of the building, it's uh there's not really a lot of stuff. It seems like a lot of these crates, had you chosen to fight, would have been more useful as cover
Mm-hmm.
rather than holding anything important.
Okay. And with the crates, they're kind of like, I don't know, like medium, large size
Yeah.
moving boxes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
There's
mean,
like just like a wall of them, like and there's like a wall of them in the middle.
yes.
Okay. I see you guys haven't been using this place at all. Thank you very much. We have less to move.
Yeah, yeah. Guys, we got an inspection.
Oh, there's more. And Joe like look over at the other two and be like, "Oi, which one of you is the foreman?"
No one wants to be. No one wants to be the foreman.
Like this is an 18 intimidation. This is like, so you can obviously see like
They had something for the newest member, but they didn't know who had to be the foreman, and then they got past the doorman.
Nobody wants to be the foreman when they see the lady when they see the scary inspection lady with her thermos of questionable content. They don't obviously they probably don't know it's coffee, but with her questionable content thermos barging in asking for a foreman, it's like, oh, I'm not the foreman. He is. I'm not. No ghost. No.
All right. Joan, would you like to examine them to see what the guys' reactions are?
sure. Then insight.
Yeah.
All right. Insight.
And Avery to hear just being quiet and sneaky in the background.
18.
Probably laughing riotously, silently.
Not.
I'm sorry. I put a lot of this stuff in like insight, intimidation, perception. I'm sorry. You're doomed.
Um. So what you notice is that the two other guys like look at each other, and you can see like slight moving of the hands before. The one on the right is like, "What can I do for you?"
Well, so you're the foreman.
As close as you're going to get today.
Oh, great. And Joel will actually like take out a piece of paper and actually like write down foreman not on shift. Great. Now, I'm from the Myk'Isle inspection office, and unfortunately for you, we are going to have to requisition your warehouse.
All right, that don't sound too bad. I mean, you could have the whole place if, as long as we can get the last of our stuff moved out of here. Tell you need a lot of room.
So you've already been moving out, and yet you didn't decide to inform anybody in the office, okay? Alright, so what are you actually moving here? I don't see any, and like, flips a few pages, like, I don't see any descriptions on what you're actually moving, so I'm gonna have to now look inside there.
All right. So here, at this point, you make investigation checks.
Oh, finally. The dice are halfway behaving. My investigation is terrible, so 16.
Hey, that's higher than Avery's.
I got a +1 to investigation.
Oh my.
Compared to Avery's +2.
So here's taking in what he can right now, and like if he sees an opportunity while they're like away from the crates that we're loading, he'd probably try and sneak something from the top. But I think right now they're still close to those things, so taking stuff in as you see fit.
So here, what you managed to find, apart from stuff that could be used to service your store or your restaurant.
Yeah.
Um, you also find a piece of parchment with a bunch of shapes that you have no context to.
I figure I can investigate whatever I pick up later. Uh, so I'm kind of just casually putting things like wherever I can hide them, and I can figure out what the heck's the deal with the parchment later.
Um, so you also find 6 gold. Yeah, just left unattended.
Pocket change. Probably was hiding in the couch.
And a weird metal ball.
Made of brass. Does that have spindles?
No, iron. A weird iron ball.
Well, I'm casually hiding it away, just like everything else.
Big enough to fit in your hand. Feels pretty light for a metal ball. Maybe it's hollow.
What a relief. And I don't have to worry about how heavy it is while I'm hiding it away with all of the other random stuff I'm picking up.
Yeah, that's the most of what you find that's unusual. Actually, there's a whole crate that you could, if you could just get it outside, or at least get it away from these people, you have a nice start for your restaurant. But you just need these guys to stay away from it. Or
I'll wait for a better opportunity in that regard, since if I can hear Joan at all, it sounds like they're moving out anyways.
Oh,
I mean, are you paying attention to the conversation at all, or to the people at all, or are you solely focused on the investigation?
Um, I'm trying to listen into the conversation, not super intently, but mostly to pick up any names in case it gets relevant, and also, the broad strokes of what the plan is if suddenly we are discovered, so that we can make a case for ourselves. So I might not get the exact details, but that's the gist of what I'm looking for.
All right. Well, yeah, like, yeah, come over here. We're just getting ready to move all this stuff because apparently, the farmers would want this stuff closer to their store, well, to their storehouses than out here by the port. Bring it over to a crate. Seems to be full of sacks of seed.
okay. Do you want to like look down? And look down, just look like up at him, just like, what is your? I don't think we've met before. What's your name?
Name's Johnny.
I
Well,
thought he was on the
Johnny.
door for it.
No, that was Charlie.
Well, Johnny, I'm looking at some of these reports here, and I am seeing nothing about your warehouse being involved in any movement of perishable goods. And since we do you have the requisite permit to allow this? Do you have the requisite permit to do this? Or have you failed to file that as well?
Make a deception check.
I love that.
It's gonna go terribly now.
I hope not.
Minus 1 to charisma. Okay, deception, that is 10.
You know seeds aren't perishable, right?
Yes, they are.
I mean, they're not as perishable as, say, fruit. But also, you're hiding something. I don't think you're who you say you are.
You don't think who I say I am. You do.
Yeah.
First of all,
Yeah.
do you not realize that seed is still, in fact, an edible good,
It's
even
Johnny
to
that's
the
speaking
gravely
right now, right?
impoverished?
What was that?
It's Johnny that's speaking right now, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to cast Disguise Self to look like Johnny.
Okay.
And then I'll walk up behind him and say, well, I don't think you're who you say you are.
What the hell is this?
It's the I.P.I. Get him! Roll initiative. At least those of you that are in the warehouse.
You just had to ruin this, didn't you? You couldn't let me give him the talking down of the century, could you?
Das ist nicht gut.
13.
I'm rolling initiative. It was too good to pass up.
Okay, I should have a pencil around here somewhere.
Was it a terrible idea? Probably. But was it hilarious?
Yes.
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 I
was kind of hoping they wouldn't pick up quite that quick, but oh well.
I find that fascinating that it's just like, wait a minute. Wait, I don't think you are who you say you are. And Joe's about to go all, you don't think who I say I am. How? And then so here comes back, just like, I don't think who you say you are. It's like, what is happening?
I was hoping for at least 5 seconds of confusion.
What I'd like to understand is why somebody disguised as Johnny coming forward immediately makes them think it's the I.P.I. I mean, granted, this is the headquarters of the baddies, so maybe I guess that makes more sense. But and we roll initiative.
Well, I'm sorry for ruining it, guys.
Worth it.
That's what I
Sorry,
was thinking.
worth it.
Alright, so
Still too funny to let them know.
so here, what did you get?
Watch her.
Oh, I did well. I got a 19.
And Joan?
13.
13. So
Give me Johnny.
I'm definitely stabbing Johnny just to bring home the I don't think you're who you say you are.
I'm gonna rile up Joan. It's like I wanted to injure Johnny.
We can beat him up together.
Sorry, have you guys seen Little Giants?
At least Avery hasn't been given away yet.
True.
He can do sneak attack.
The movie Little Giants. It's an old 90s movie, but it has Rick Moranis. It's this ragtag group of kids that basically make their own little Pee Wee football team. But there's one part of it's like, you can't reverse to Johnny. Johnny. This kid's like freaking out in their little huddle. It's like, reverse to Johnny. You can't do a reverse to Johnny. Johnny. That's all that's coming to mind right now.
Hmm.
And 12.
Hold on, hold it away.
I don't think we knew exactly which step I wanted.
All right.
Go on, hold you.
All right. So Johnny is like, see, I.P.I, get him, and we'll swing at the person that looks like him. Pretty sure 18 hits.
Yeah, it does.
And you'll take 4 slashing damage as he pulls out a scimitar and will slash at you. Next is Sahir.
See here. We have Jones next to him as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I can do sneak attack damage. Alrighty, let's see here. Oh, that's a 24 hit.
It does. Yeah. Before you roll damage, are you doing this lethally or non-lethally?
Don't look at me, I'm outside.
I'm thinking. The original directive was live if possible. He did also just stab me, and I need to prove a point that he is not the real Johnny.
Oh, goodness.
We're going lethally on this one. Holy, that's a lot of high values on the D6s. 20 damage.
Okay, so hold on, let me do the math on that.
Go for the gut. Or the throat.
Almost. Almost kills him outright. You are 2 points from killing him outright.
Wow.
None of those dice rolled low. The 4 and the 3 on the 8 and the 6 were the lowest roll. I only have a +2 on my damage is the problem, because my dexterity is kind of lame for a rogue.
I'm happy about that.
Alright, up next is Joey.
The one I didn't have the name for. I knew there was Charlie and Johnny, but I didn't know about the third guy's name.
And he misses with the crossbow. Up next is Avery. Alright, Avery. You are not an arcane trickster.
Joey.
So, you're just going to fly in and attack.
Sneak attack? They didn't know he was there.
No, they didn't. So that is a hit with the rapier. So that is a D8. So keep track of that. Gotta get my other dice out for the sneak attack damage, which is 3d6. Okay, I won that one. And where's my last D4? Oh, no, not D4. D6. Right there.
In my head, I just see this as like an old-fashioned cop show. Like, that's all this really is. It's an old-fashioned cop show. Iseleen's the rookie who's trying to do everything by the book and not really knowing how to actually do her job.
Alright, so
Joan is the veteran who's just like
+3
counting down her years to retirement so that she can get out of this place and open up her coffee shop. And then you have the Maverick,
Oh. Alright.
Should I be scared?
Yeah. Avery just did 22 damage.
He can one-shot Johnny.
He one-shot Joey.
Did he go for lethal or non-lethal?
He was going in with his rapier. He's flying in with his rapier. It's not... He's going for a stab.
Just going in for a stab and he ends up ramming the guy through and killing him?
Yep. Guy doesn't even get to make death saves.
Straight through the heart.
So,
You're too blind. Sorry. Welcome to my brain.
every flies over and as he's coming over, it's like, really should keep an eye on your back as he flies with the rapier straight out, rams the guy, and will come to a rolling stop with a 3-point landing. Joan.
How close is Charlie?
You could walk to him.
Joan will just turn to him, just be like, "Are you gonna surrender or not?"
I surrender.
Great. And then I imagine since Johnny is still basically right next to Joan still,
Yes.
Joan will just pull out the forged document, just be like, "This is exactly who I am," and then tries to punch him in the face, just to knock him out.
Alright.
And since he's turned to here, can I do sneak damage?
You're not a rogue. You don't get sneak attack, but you will get advantage.
Yeah. Because I don't need that apparently, because natural 20.
You're gonna knock him out and kill him in the same breath. Good job.
Oh no,
Joan.
I'm going for non-lethal damage.
Okay.
For a total of what was that, 6? Yeah.
Total 6 damage. He is still up.
Still.
Yeah. These guys have bandit stats.
Joey took
So he's
20 and
alive,
killing
but
was
not
dead.
knocked out.
11 is what you needed.
Well, I can attack twice. So. Does an 18, no, plus 6 hit.
I'm wondering if I hear anything.
Yeah, that hits.
Yay. Another 6 damage.
Alright, he's out.
Did I roll perception, or with my passive perception being 15, do I hear what's going on in the door, behind the door?
Yeah, so you will hear a, it's the I.P.I, get him, before you hear you hear Avery say, I gotta keep a better eye out than that.
And a lot of screams are very unexpected.
And a couple, well, at this point, 3 thuds.
Yeah.
Couple thumbs, like, oh no.
Anyone else actually in here? Or is it fake Johnny's turn? Who's the real Johnny?
No, just
Well,
Charlie
no, Fake
standing,
Johnny's out.
and he just surrendered. Like, Joan
Charlie
just
just
looked back at
surrendered
him.
and Big Johnny just got knocked out by Joan.
Charlie surrendered and fake Johnny got knocked out after he got almost eviscerated by
Well,
the ears.
Well, here's the thing. You said you went for lethal, so You just made a death save.
Non-lethal.
No.
Specifically non-lethal.
I heard Sahir say lethal.
Right. He's still got stabbed.
Yeah, so... Yeah, Johnny had to make a death save. Not saying what the result was.
So we've already knocked them all out.
Yes. They're all either dead, dying, or unconscious.
Like, Jonah look like over and actually like, drop your weapon, like right now. Just toss it over here.
There are only 3 guys in the building. Who are you telling that to?
Charlie, the one who wasn't attacked yet.
Avery had attacked him.
I thought.
No, Charlie took Joey.
Okay.
Joey was taken out by Avery.
Avery, yeah, but Avery attacked twice.
He did? Oh.
No,
Whoops.
Avery attacked once.
Okay, then who attacked Charlie?
Sahir attacked Johnny. Avery attacked Joey.
Mm-hmm. And one-shotted him.
Yes. That means only Charlie is left. Which...
Joey didn't get one shot by Sahir, though. I mean, Johnny. Johnny did not get one shot by Sahir posing as Johnny.
You are 2 points off from killing him, though. So he is down.
He's bleeding.
Yes.
Oh, so you were saying, when you say I was 2 points from killing him, you meant like insta-kill, not, his full hit points.
Yep. Yes. So
Charlie surrendered and Johnny is dying.
Yeah, Johnny had to make a death save throw.
John will actually look up at Sahir and just be like, Johnny, what the hell? This was going incredibly well.
Get a little more reaction from them than that. Little confusion, light things up. It was just too good. I'm sorry, though. Didn't work. It was supposed to be a priceless 6 to 12 seconds. It was a priceless, 2.
I'm assuming that Isling outside the door, she's heard things kind of settle and probably hears Joan's comment of Johnny, what the hell?
Yeah, you would have heard that.
And I'm just gonna crack the door behind me. It's like, everything okay in here?
You have medical expertise.
Yes. Why do we need medical expertise?
Because someone is dying and I would prefer you to stabilize him so he doesn't bleed out.
I'm coming. What did I have to roll for medicine kit again? Medicine?
This would be a medicine check.
17.
Alright, you're able to stabilize him. Well, on the bright side, 2 of them are alive. But also,
let's get some rope.
I'm looking up from where I'm at Johnny, making sure this guy doesn't die. It's barely.
And Sahir is just right over him, looking like the guy that you just...
Yeah, I'm just John, what happened?
Sahir happened.
Here?
I don't know who you're talking about. I'm Johnny. I'm the real Johnny.
Here?
Joan pulls out her rope and just starts tying up Charlie and Johnny together. Just all right, let's get this over with. And make sure they're disarmed of everything.
All right.
Be careful on wrapping Johnny. He's still Gonna need a lot of help. He's at least stable.
Alright. So, in case anyone decides to take their stuff, like all of it, you'll get a set of 3 sets of leather armor, 3 scimitars, and 3 light crossbows. And with the light crossbows, you'll get 20 bolts each, except for the one that already fired his crossbow.
20, 20, 19, that's 59. I don't think anyone else has crossbow bolts.
I know I don't.
Nope, I've just got a short bow.
I have my quarters.
Yeah, Joan will take all of them. As well as the 2 scimitars. Or 3.
3.
No, just 2. Yeah. All right.
Alright. Well, I can
Since
say...
Johnny's being tied up, I'm gonna go over to the opposite door and just open it and like, cohort, go ahead and come on in. You have any medical expertise, might as well help make sure that that guy's not only stable, but hopefully.
Maybe Zahir isn't chaotic good after that performance. Oh.
We were having a conversation the other night about alignments and trying to figure out. I was actually trying to figure out Tooth's alignment, but
chaotic.
Chaotic neutral.
chaotic neutral.
Oh, sing
But
a song.
I was gonna say I also like what Marco just said. Tooth. Tooth is his own alignment.
That's the epitome of chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, yeah, so, you let cohort in. What is it you want me to do?
Do you have any medical programming?
Negative.
Then nothing else unless you happen to recognize any of these guys from people that attacked you.
They are not in my memory banks at this moment. Or,
Good to know. Thank you.
In our. It's gotta use
Yeah.
plural.
And return.
Alright. Now, I didn't find much to see. Did you find anything of use?
Let's see here. I've got this weird parchment. I've got this iron ball. There's a whole crate of perishables over there I'm kind of interested in, and I found pocket change.
So here, if you could look through that crate, that'd be very helpful.
Yeah. You mind if I have the metal ball?
Here, we'll hand the metal ball all to Avery.
Rummaging through. Thank you. Do I recognize anything on the page?
On the parchment? What was it
Yeah.
that Isling was handed?
The parchment.
Alright. Roll an Arcana check for me.
Okay.
Oh, and find spices to go with everything else in that crate.
9. I think I'm a little shaken by the fact that there's been so much bloodshed.
You don't make anything out on it. Let's see. Avery notice anything? Or no, not Avery. Cohort. forgot he had a passive investigation that high. um, that parchment appears to have invisible ink.
Kind of invisible ink. Invisible ink or something else?
Those of you with spell slots will will feel a pulse of magic, or a pulse of magic through the weave. And Cohort says, the ink itself is not magical. However, that metal ball does have magic.
Thank you.
What was the second part you said?
The metal ball does have magic. The parchment doesn't. The parchment does not. You know, if the I was gonna say most invisible ink is revealed by heat. So like Islene's just gonna start digging through her bag and find her tinderbox so that she can just try to set up a little fire so that she can read the ink.
Sahir hears her say that and says, and kind of with like a firebolt on his hand, is just like, I could help with that. As he continues to rummage through the crate to see just how awesome of foodstuffs he's found. Very carefully. He doesn't want to damage any, fruits or vegetables.
Instead of trying to find my tinderbox, I'll go over and hold it up to the firebolt in his hand. It's like, well, might as well try this.
All right. So you make a investigation with disadvantage since you are doing this one-handed.
Oh no.
Iseline, holding the parchment up to the fire, reveals a compass rose.
13.
Oh yeah. If the rest of these crates that they were moving things into have more food in them, you are set for your restaurant.
Oh yeah.
It's like nothing else you need to do. Since you're a government worker, you figure it's since this is part of an investigation, I'll just what's the word?
Commandeer?
Yeah, I'll just commandeer this.
I mean, I do
Oils of
believe
coal
Avery called it contraband. But better good for contraband than to be made for the benefit of the people.
Is there anything else with the compass rose?
A compass rose, and the other marks that are would lead you to believe that this is a map.
Well, from the looks of this, we have a map. What? I do not know. But a map.
Joan walks over to Iseline to try and see what's going on.
All right. The both of you make investigation checks. And yeah, Cohort will do it too. That rolled off. I don't do dice rolls that roll off the thing.
I'll do the help action for Iseline to give advantage.
Damn, Cohort. 29.
How do I do that then?
Yes. It was investigation. Did you
No. The what Marco was saying. How do I do that again? Is
roll
it
twice, take
rolling
the
an
high?
extra die?
Yeah, roll twice, take the higher number.
Thank you. 14. Sorry, 13. 13.
And cohort got a 29.
Damn.
Go cohort.
Yeah, at 29 at level 5. Damn.
Expertise is just a wild thing to include.
You will notice at the bottom uh, bottom left corner, you'll see what looks like uh, an additional island. You're pretty sure you've seen this before, but you would have to check maps from the area to confirm things. You have a suspicion that the island in the bottom left corner might be Myk'Isle, but it's been so long since you've seen any maps of the island, if at all, that you're not quite sure. And there is one island just off of center, like to the top right of the center, just off of it, where there is a X that is circled.
Well, that's not conspicuous at all.
What is the X supposed to mark?
Well, depends if it's inhabited or not. If it's inhabited, probably a target. If it isn't, it's probably an object.
Sounds like a treasure map to me.
You seem to be looking at all these crates like you've already found your treasure.
I mean, that's true. I'm always down for a good treasure hunt.
Yeah, I can see the stars in your eyes. You seem like you're almost in heaven.
Stars
We're
anywhere.
gonna make some good meals with the stuff in these crates.
Avery has a box of food in front of him. Of course, he's in heaven.
I mean, I suppose another idea they could be, and this just seems to be like something that's revealing like what's most prominent in our thoughts, is that could be a rallying point. Yeah.
Is there anything originally written on the parchment that would at all give an idea of what that might be?
No.
Well, in any of these scenarios, it seems like an excellent place to visit.
If that's the size of the island, it'll probably take at minimum a week to get there.
Does this mean we should bring the embassies in on the stuff that's happening here if we have to go chasing something on another island? Do we even get to another island from here? I mean, obviously we came here from other places, but no, transportation hasn't been as fluid with some of the stuff going on.
That's true.
We could always ask people with a little more power to influence those things than ourselves. They seem to like us.
You still look. You're saying all this, still looking like Johnny, aren't you?
Yes, although I should probably drop that ruse at some point.
You've been too happy burrowing through your boxes of food to remember that you look like Johnny.
Actually, Joan will take out the the sending stone they were given. Actually, speak into it. Hey Tora, where do we put people we would like to have interrogated?
Oh, that's an excellent question. Yeah, this is going to sound very odd, but the first jails that I can think of are actually with those new embassies that you were just told about.
Birds, one stone, I guess.
Should we be concerned that the only jails on the island are not actually under control of the island's government?
That is
Wait.
On top of
weird.
everything else.
That is weird. But we have two fox people that are like the heads of the government. A dragon that owns the island, and
Honestly, the way everything else runs here, it is sadly not as surprising as I would have hoped it to be. No meaning to be critical, of course. Because it kind of fits.
It doesn't mean it's not surprised.
I wish it was.
Got any ins at any of the embassies to maximize them willing to give us a hand?
inns nearby. The embassy? No. I tell you, since you asked that, the Prime Minister didn't show you where they were.
No.
Nope. Didn't show where it was. Didn't give us a letter of invitation or whatever that's called.
Alright, just go to the coast, follow it north into the fog.
Ominous.
She also left the decision of whether or not to contact the embassies up to us. Because apparently it was too early in the morning for her to make the decision.
She does strike me as a night owl.
Sorry, your mother got to looks like you're spitting that tiny bagel on your finger like it's a fidget spinner. Sorry, don't mind the random food asides coming from our department here. So it fits.
We were trying to talk to the dragons anyway, so we should, yeah. Okay.
I suggest we probably put these two, especially the bloodied one, onto a cart of some sort. He's not going to survive walking there.
I was thinking of leaving them here, and Kohor watching over them, so nothing happens.
That is another option.
While we, ask to use their prisons and then bring them over. A little presumptuous to bring them directly.
Good point. I was just thinking not wanting to let them out of our sight, but that makes much more sense.
That would be the advisable course of action. I have been my programming from last activation was to combat dragons.
That explains why you weren't too keen on Chomper.
Cohort kind of looks at Cohort with a little bit of a side eye, like combat dragons, and then just kind of goes back to what he was doing without even thinking much more about it.
That was irrelevant. Pseudo-dragons posed no threat to Myk'Isle or Bahazar.
Do either of those names sound even vaguely familiar?
It should.
They wouldn't immediately to Sahir or to Joan, but to Isling they would be familiar as that is a... At least Myk'Isle was a mythical city in the Myk'Isle.
Myk'Isle? Like, I'll react to him saying Myk'Isle then, probably.
Indeed. We were sentinels. Automated sentinels for the for the United Kingdoms.
It's Myk'Isle and
Bahazar.
Bahazar.
I mean, technically it would be more like Bahazar, but
Mhm.
that middle syllable is not easy for English speakers to produce.
Yeah. And where was Myk'Isle located again?
It was in the Montes Galacti, so the like north of Shimber.
Near Swanville?
Not on the same landmass as Swanville, but very close.
Yeah.
Bahazar.
And so I'm guessing Bahazar would probably be close to that, right? I need to look at the map again.
Yeah, I can do that.
Bahazar.
I'm just saying that at some point I need to go back and review your map. You don't have to do it right now, but
of course not.
but they're I mean obviously close to my home, but Balthazar would be near Montes
Yeah, so
Galati.
what Isling would know, both being from the region while also being an elf, is that Myk'Isle was an elven kingdom. In fact, Myk'Isle means like mountain city. Bahazar was said to be a dwarven kingdom.
What Lord of the Rings stuff is going on here? Founders, Legolas, and Gimli.
Post-apocalypse, but not Ghibli version.
Post-apocalypse, but thousands of years after.
Interesting that you're actually from close to my own home cohort. I would not have expected that.
The one who brought me here was a lord of the Principality of Shimver.
Sure. So, Joan's idea to have cohorts stay here with our detainees would allow us to move a little bit better on our way to the embassy. Assuming that Sahir goes back to being Sahir and not Johnny.
Oh, yeah. And Sahir will drop his disguise self. By the way, Iselin, thank you for stabilizing Johnny over there. got a little too into our into my gig of pretending to be him.
She's just gonna kind of stare at Sahir for a bit. It's like a little too into it. Okay. I was even thinking.
Yes, crossed the line a little bit too much. Thank you.
All right, so as you leave, Cohort will pull out his gun and point it at the group of bandits in varying conditions.
Actually, Joan will like before the group totally leaves, they come back and just like put in his hand the potion of healing, just saying, in case they get incredibly rowdy or if they start opening up their injuries or something,
Acknowledged.
and genuinely try not to kill them. I believe in you. Like, do like a shoulder, agreeable shoulder tap, and then jog back.
Unfortunately, you're not a bard, so you can't give him bardic inspiration. All right, so
And Joan never will.
Not after that. Are you heading directly to the in the direction Tora said, or are you stopping by somewhere first?
Unless there's a place that sells potions of healing along the way, no.
Alright.
I figured we were probably heading that way with plenty of time to wonder where I'm setting up my shop now that I have all of the perishables.
I will probably double check my herbalism kit and just let everybody know it's like I want to run very quickly to go restock my herbalism kit since I've had to do that, use it twice more in the last 2 days than I have in a long time.
It means when she uses it the next time, the herbs will be more potent.
Alright, so you head out in the direction that Tor pointed out, and head off beyond the 1 mile perimeter of the dragon lair into the always overcast area of the 6-mile diameter. Sticking on the beach, you'll notice that the foliage is actually getting pretty dense.
Anything edible?
Roll nature or survival.
Definitely nature. Ooh, yeah. That's a 23.
No, not really. These seem to be more like plants that are growing up like at random or like magically like the soil is magically nutrient, so that it is growing fast and thick.
Magic plants, not food plants, and not magic food plants.
Joan's probably at the front of the group using their new scimitars to cut their way through.
After about an hour trudging through, you will eventually come across a stone wall.
And where's Adea when we need her?
In Tom's house, working on artifacts.
Very happy doing so.
is doing her job / hobby.
Yes.
Is the
Dana
wall
is living her best life.
It's true.
is the wall like continuous, or is it like made out of bricks?
Um, it is definitely cut stone.
That's how.
Further than you can see into the fog.
Well,
Can we see our hands in front of our faces in the fog?
Yes, I mean, you can see your
Oh,
hands,
okay,
but
so
you
the wall
probably have
extends up into the fog.
yes.
Oh, this is
I'd like
helpful.
to find like a small rock or something nearby and attempt to toss it over the wall and see if I either hit the wall or if it lands on the other side.
Let's see, what's the range of things?
Your characters are throwing rocks. Got Dan the light rock, and I got to hear with the estimation rock.
We'll
Here's just trying to be practical.
I just find it really
How
hard.
tall is the wall before we have to climb it?
How high does one's dexterity check need to be to climb a cut stone wall?
That sounds like an athletics check, which is strength.
Well, since you're throwing for distance, I will say make that athletics check with disadvantage.
A dex check with disadvantage?
Yeah. Dex or strength with disadvantage. Since you're going more for distance than accuracy. Well, actually, you're trying to see how far. But I'm basically using this as if you're attacking a point.
I'm more listening than anything, you know. Throw it high, see if it hits the wall, or if it sounds like it lands on the other side. Well, the first roll was a nat 20, but unfortunately at disadvantage, that's going to be a 9 after the modifier.
Yeah.
Alright. You throw the stone. You hear it collide with the wall before it hits you back on the forehead.
Ow. Well, the wall is taller than a stone's throw.
Jonah just watches the whole thing, then just turns right and just starts cutting along the wall, just like, let's find the other side of this.
And I'm following right after Joe. Not even
You said
not
turn
even
right.
saying anything.
Yes.
Alright.
I follow, but I kind of like leave one hand that's kind of periodically touching the wall just to see.
Alright. So you follow, you turn right and follow the wall. Eventually, it does turn to the left.
I am assuming that we're gonna follow the wall.
Yeah, just
So
peek
we
around the
find an
side,
opening in
anything
said
interesting.
wall.
Or until touching the wall creates a sensation other than, you know, a plain stone wall.
So you're just going to follow until something happens?
Until we
Basically.
find like a door.
Or we can see the top of the wall.
Yeah.
Alright, so...
Avery, can you see anything?
No, but I can hear work that's being done on the other side.
Well, that's something. We know something's happening at least.
So you follow the wall, and it turns left again, and then again before you come across a large double door.
We're kind of walking along this obviously very long wall. So here's like, well, so far we've confirmed that the wall is tall and the wall is real.
Islene, you figure you probably would have gone here faster if you turned left and followed the wall.
Yeah. Like, probably should have gone left. Okay.
By the time we get to like the midpoint of the second left, you can actually like feel there's actually like somehow an area of effect of Joan like seething in rage, like, damn it! If only we turned left.
Yep.
You can hear the waves crashing on the shore. Yeah, just barely off the beach. But before you is a tall, double-sided door, probably about 12 or 15 feet tall, and arched to a point.
I mean, really, if you get water any higher than it already is, this is how you get a flooded building. Do these people want flooded buildings?
Joe's more of an inspector than I thought.
Perhaps they have a drainage system that you're not aware of.
Yes, stone, very permeable material.
Perhaps the doors are that large because they need to accommodate taller beams. I mean, it's an empathy for bracket.
I personally was hoping we'd find a beanstalk, but that's neither here nor there.
Explain just stares at Sahir for a minute before looking to see if there's like a large knocker on the door or if she should just
door next to it.
yeah, or if there's a side door, or if she should just start knocking on it with her quarterstaff to make a loud enough sound because she's pretty sure with the size of those doors, a hand is not gonna cut it. Like knocking with my knuckles is not gonna cut it.
Are they wood or stone doors?
They're wood. It's not really a knocker. You do see like two sets of what you guess would probably be like how people would open and close this place. But one of them is like very much bigger and is higher than you can reach.
And the other,
The other
you
is
said there was two.
the other is at humanoid level and size. At least what you would consider normal.
So more like a door handle.
Yes.
Okay. I feel awkward just walking in. But there's no knocker, so I guess I'll just knock and
Open the door.
it's an embassy. You don't just waltz into an embassy.
I don't see why not.
You just about one shot killed Johnny. You be quiet.
Well, maybe we should waltz in with some food. It is good for creating a more light atmosphere and getting people to be happy in general. Make a good point.
Joan is still opening the door. Like after the knock, opening the door.
Yeah,
Wait, what?
Yeah, I could just see like Islane like uses her staff to knock on the door. Joan.
So here's like halfway to opening the door, and then Joan's just like, "Come on."
Yeah. Joan opens the door. Joan, Sahir, and Avery begin walking in. Isling is just like,
And you also, and it's like by the actually just before we reached the stone wall, Joan ran out of coffee.
I'm actually so ticked that we went right instead of left. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I was able to at least knock once before Joan just waltzed in. So I'm like, we'll just follow and try and salvage this situation if they're angry because we didn't knock at the door.
Dragons like cantaloupe. Dragons like cantaloupe. I've never thought about this before, but I do have cantaloupe.
um, you'll see.
You're just gonna see like Iseline like stick her hand in her pocket and just like you can see her hand like kind of like the bulge of her hand and just see it like tighten around something as she just mutters to herself like.
So, well, was the marching order in this, or who's going first?
Joan's in front. I'm in the back.
I'm following Joan.
High or low?
It's probably Joan, Sahir, Avery, me.
Can I pick middle, 6 to 15?
All right. Joan, after walking, after walking in a few feet, you will bump into someone, and you're looking straight ahead. You have no idea what you bumped into, and like, ah, do you speak Elvish?
No.
All right.
I believe I do.
I believe the two of you do. So the two of you will hear a very strange form of Elvish. Avery does not have Elvish. You'll hear. Oh, pardon me. I was just going to finish up before coming to answer the door. Now that you've all heard this, you'll see what, at least on the surface, looks like an elf, but they're see-through.
Take a look.
Like, I'm going to somehow pull myself together and move past the people in front of me to stand next to Joan and explain and respond in Elvish that we're here to see the envoy
Take us to your leader.
ambassador on behalf of the city of Blair. Now, is this a transparent or a translucent elf? Like ghost elf or like somewhat solid, but
How much opacity are we talking about here?
thank you.
The picture will do it much more justice than I will.
Okay.
If I can find
66.4259%.
And also keeping in mind you're in a bit of a foggy area, so this is also having some effect. So if I can find a picture, I will post it. That will get you an idea.
All right.
But you said you're here to speak with ambassadors on behalf of the city of Lair, correct? Right. I guess follow me, and you'll shout off something to someone further in, and we'll lead you into whatever place this is, and that is where we'll call for this week.
Okay.
Alrighty.